Hello, guys. Welcome back to S3D. And yeah, I'm recording this very early in the morning because I had to wake up and chat with some of my friends in Japan overseas. So we've been talking about HGUC. Obviously, I have a very large playlist of HGUC kits, and we're reflecting on some of these kits and looking through the kits and looking at the problem with these HUC kits. We talk about, articulation, we talk about color accuracy, and we talk about the price point. So, some of the folks were telling me, well, for the price point, when it comes to Gunpla, you really shouldn't be complaining because, these things are basically dollar store specials, high grade kits. That's how they're viewed in Japan. It's just like they're like a very budget friendly way to get these iconic characters without having to spend a lot of money. And obviously, I'm telling them, well, you know what? You guys are living in Japan where you can get the kits for like $10 or under $20. Oftentimes, these things are so mass produced in Japan. Prior to 2021 that these things usually go on clearance for like dirt cheap. I believe the Wing Gundam Zero, according to my friend, one of my friends in Japan, they have seen it as low as $5. So, yeah, they sell them everywhere, like at drugstores, or like pharmaceutical drugstores, and 7-Eleven and stuff like that. So, yeah, they have shown me prices on these kits going as low as $5. Obviously, if you're living in North America, a place where Gunpla isn't super popular, uh, you know, instead of paying $5, you could be paying $50 uh, in certain areas because people just can't get access to these kind of products. So yeah, but anyway, the problem with the high grade kits, again, like my biggest concern with the high grade kit is like color accuracy problems, and most of them are like, well, if you guys are paying that much money, then it just sucks to be you. It's not really like Bandai really doesn't care. If you're like, that's technically your problem. You're overpaying for a product that Bandai intended to be super cheap. So, yeah, I think that's a valid argument. I honestly think we're overpaying for a lot of these Gunpla kits, even at like discount stores and the big box stores like at Target. I think Target, well, since they had to get the stuff through Bluefin, and the pricing system is just like actually technically I think Target can actually sell the stuff super cheap, but I think in a way like Target doesn't want to like put all the mom and pop shop out of business when it comes to Gunpla. They really don't have enough market share. You know, I know a lot of people in the Bay Area, in the West Coast. I frequently visit Gunpla stores locally for years, and I overhear a lot of people just like, "Oh yeah, this thing is too expensive. I'll just go buy at Target." Obviously they're gonna save like $2 to $5, and then a couple of months later, those mom and pop shops go out of business, and they're not gonna be able to get anything anymore. So that's the problem here. It's like a karma related situation where it's like, oh yeah, I don't want to pay like the $5 more to get these kits, so I'm just gonna start buying all my stuff at Target. Target only covers the carries the newer stuff and the yeah, the stuff that they can sell in large quantities. While the mom and pop shop, they're gonna carry everything else, that you might need further down the line when it comes to this hobby. And all these people are just not using common sense. And they're just like, they do this kind of thing. In Japan, it's like a different story. Like, Gunpla just sell everywhere. So it's not really like it doesn't like affect anybody. Obviously, the big box store sells them, but the mom and pop shop always sells them too. So yeah, and then Bandai have this allocation uh, standards. So the mom and pop shop and the big box store, they're limited to a certain amount based on their how much volume that they're selling. So yeah. Anyway, so we talk about the articulation. I think like the newer kids, Naoki Saida really nailed it. I think in the future, I think Gunpla is just gonna get better. But we're addressing the stuff that's currently available that that were made within the last 5 years. Still see like a big issue with like some of the older kits. I think a couple of years ago in 2018, like Bandai just removed the yen price on the boxes of all their products. I think the reason for doing that is so they can secretly increase the price of the older kits. So when they're printing them, they can actually make more money off the older kits. And the problem right here we want to talk about is the older kits because the engineering is not quite there, the color accuracy is not quite there, and it's like an issue. There are a handful of older kits that are pretty much solid, when it comes to color accuracy and the articulation and the price point. For example, the gun cannon, I think that's a really good value. The color accuracy on this thing is like 95%. Like, maybe there's like a miscolor app somewhere beneath the foot or something like that. But this thing is pretty solid. I think this one is pretty legit. If you get a chance to get it, definitely get the gun cannon. And the grandpas everywhere. Like my local Target have literally 50 boxes sitting on the shelf that nobody's buying, and it's like $12 at Target. So, yeah, this thing is like a $7 kit in Japan. So they sold as a gun cannon actually, and they're all pretty damn good. So if you have a chance, go ahead and pick that up. I would definitely avoid the crossbone and this freaking thing like the Gira Zulu. Oh, the Gira Zulu, you'll be painting that kit for a long, long time because like all those sleeve markings, ridiculous. Same with the Shroom Gallus. That thing is just riddled with like paint accuracy problem. In fact, I can tell you both of these are gonna suffer from severe color accuracy problems. The Cubulate too. The Goof Revive is perfect. Nothing wrong with that. Most of the Xeon stuff on the 1 year war, you're not gonna run into any sort of color accuracy problem. The Gion, no problem. But when it comes to the more complicated design like the Gundams, yeah, Strike Freedom. Yeah, good luck with that one. Zeta, even the Barzan. The Barzan have a lot of, this is AOZ stuff. When it gets a little complicated, the technology is just not quite there. Actually, the Leo was perfect. And for the most part, I think the Garibaldi, that one's okay. Like, it's missing a few colors here and there, but it's not bad. The Bylon, oh my god, it's horrendous. They did actually engineer some parts to, address some of the color accuracy problem. Like there used to be this huge section on the Bylons of Viners that were just full of stickers. If you guys bought the P-Bandai, you know what I'm talking about. They engineered a humongous piece of part separation, color separation piece for the Bylon, and it's pretty good. So, yeah, the Moon Gundam is actually perfect when it comes to the color accuracy. That one you don't have to worry about too much. In fact, I think Moon Gundam is pretty much my favorite Gunpla kit within the last 5 years. I think when it comes to HUC, this is the absolute top tier. It's basically the best HUC kit ever made, and nothing has changed ever since that. So, yeah, if you guys are a fan of the HUC line, you definitely need to pick up the Moon Gundam, which is really not a Gundam. It's a Vargir with a Gundam head. I made a joke with my friends in Japan how Bandai should do a P Bandai of the Zaku Zeta. So basically, the Zaku Zeta is the Zeta Gundam when it got its head blown off by the R Georgia, and they instead of I guess the AU were just cheap. They don't have the budget to make a new head for the Zeta Gundam, so they replaced the Zeta Gundam's head with the Zaku 2's head. Oh, just lying around somewhere. And then, make that the Zaku Zeta. That's I think that the Zaku Zeta is easily doable now. Since we got the new HUC Zaku 2, so you can go ahead and put the HUC Zaku 2's head on the Zeta. Both of the Zaku revives, they're pretty much perfect when it comes to color accuracy. I would argue that these aren't even Gunpla; these are just buildable Robodamashi figures. But yeah, the Destiny has a problem. It's not a very serious problem. I seen like the wing stuff and the Gundam wing and the seat figures, the Gunpla. They have minor color accuracy problem here and there, which not really that big of a problem. But then, once again, I'm not really too big on the wing and the Gundam seat stuff. I'm actually very curious to see if they actually gonna do the GAT-X series for the Gunpla. But then they already announced the Robodamashi version, anime version of that, so probably not even gonna bother with the Gunpla. But anyway. The silver bullet, believe it or not, that one's actually have some color accuracy problems, like some very serious ones, just like the silver bullets. The prior silver bullet, the Doven Wolves. They just basically they have reused the same mode like freaking how many times, like 4 or 5 times already, as in the retail release, and they still couldn't get it right. When it comes to color accuracy. It's not like the Bylon where they actually engineer new parts to address like some of the older problems on the binders. Yeah, but Sinanji had the problem. The DJ is actually not that bad. The R Jaja is okay. They got most of the colors right. The Gustav Karl, major problems. There's a whole section which requires like full stickers or significant amount of paintwork. Even the narrative. I noticed the problem with the narrative is all in the shield section, stuff that you don't really see. So, I mean, it's a problem if you want it to be a problem, but, if you're posing it in a specific way, I don't really see it as a problem, but, some people do. Honestly, I don't think narrative is ever going to get a Robodamashi release. Not within the next 5 years. I think at some point in the future we might see a Robodamashi narrative. It's a lot of these Gunpla, a lot of these mobile suits in the HUC line are not going to see figure form. So, it's still reasonable for people who are into these very specific type of mobile suit to be getting the Gunpla, especially people who are completionists. Like for example, Masala. Like you really think Bandai is gonna waste money, like R&D to develop something like the Masala? I really don't think so. I mean, I would like a Metal Robodamashi version of the Masala, but I don't think that's something that's going to happen. And same with the stuff like the Zogok. Yeah, like seriously, a Zogok? There is the GFFMC version of the Zogok, which is actually pretty okay, but I don't think a lot of these mobile suits are ever going to see like a figure form, so... if you have to have it, if you have to complete your collection for specific series, then, or if you're an army builder, for example, yeah, like even for me, I don't need to have too many Zakus, but I still would like to army build, the Zaku 2s. So, yeah, this is definitely still a line that worth, looking into if you guys are into, specific characters, specific mobile suits from the Universal Century. But other than that, yeah, I would say like do your research and just understand the value of of these cheaper Gunpla kits. You have to treat them like a budget product versus something versus something that people just have a misconception when it comes to high grades. They think like, oh my God, it's supposed to be high end and stuff like that. No, it's never intended to be like that. It's designed to be cheap. It's designed to be placeholders versus stuff like the master grades or the real grades and other stuff like that. So anyway, these are all opinions formulated by me and my friends overseas. That's how we see it. I think people just, they put high grade Gunpla model kits. They put them at a higher standard that is not consistent with Bandai's intentions. So anyway, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys find the information helpful. Thanks for watching.